Good morning, all of you. Yesterday, we have completed about the cardiac cycle and mechanism of functioning of heart, and followed by double circulation and hepatic portal system and coronary artery system, coronary veins, right? Coronary circulatory system, and also regulation of heart activity. All these topics we have completed yesterday. And today we are going to study about the next topic, that is lymphatic system. The lymphatic system we are going to study today. So once we will revise the yesterday's topic, regulation of heart activity. Okay, our hindbrain consisting of medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata will regulate the cardiac activity by means of autonomous nervous system. Autonomous nerves. Autonomous nerves including sympathetic nerves and parasympathetic nerves. Autonomous nerves includes sympathetic nerves and parasympathetic nerves. The sympathetic nerves will increases the heartbeat, whereas parasympathetic nerves will decreases the heartbeat. So in this way, it is going to regulate the heartbeat. And apart from that, the adrenal gland consisting of the adrenal medulla, the inner region is called adrenal medulla. The inner region is called adrenal medulla. And this adrenal medulla secretes two hormones. One is adrenaline and the other one noradrenaline. These two hormones, which are called adrenal medullary hormones, will increases the heartbeat. So this is about the regulation of heartbeat. And today's topic is lymphatic system. Lymphatic system. So the lymphatic system, already the introduction we have studied. In blood and its components, we studied just introduction. Lymph is a fluid which is equal to WBC, right? Just a lack of some proteins, lymph fluid. So lymphatic system. Lymphatic system. This lymphatic system is associated with circulatory system, only. That's why we are studying. And this lymphatic system is consisting of three components. There are three components of this lymphatic system. There are three components. Number one, lymph fluid. Lymph fluid. And the second component is lymph vessels. Lymph fluid, lymph vessels. Okay, and the third component is lymph nodes. And these lymph nodes are also called lymph glands. Okay. As the blood passes through the capillaries, in tissues, right? In tissues associated with capillaries, some water and soluble substances are filtered out from the plasma. Some water, suppose, as the blood passes through tissues, capillaries in the tissues, pass through capillaries of the tissues. Got it? As the blood pass through the capillaries in the tissues, some water and also soluble substances. Some amount of water and soluble substances will be filtered out from the plasma, blood plasma. Okay, from blood plasma into into intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces. Blood when flowing through the tissues. How they flowing through tissues? Through capillaries only, So while they are flowing through capillaries in the tissues, some amount of water and some soluble substances will be filtered out. Okay, filtered out from the blood plasma. Filtered out from the blood plasma into intercellular spaces. That means between the cells. Okay, intercellular, between the cells, the spaces between the cells, intercellular spaces. That water and some substances will be filtered from the blood plasma and enters into intercellular spaces. To form a tissue. Okay, some water and some soluble substances will enters into intercellular spaces. They get filtered out from the plasma and enters into the spaces between the cells. Got it? And to become a fluid called interstitial fluid. To become a fluid called interstitial fluid. Interstitial fluid. It has some mineral distribution. Okay, it has some minerals present with it. It has some minerals within. Okay, so that some tissue fluid will enters a system called lymphatic system. Some tissue fluid will enters lymphatic system, and the tissue fluid in them is now it is called lymph fluid. Got it? It is very simple. As the blood pass through the capillaries in the tissues, it will filter out some amount of water and some soluble substances filtered out. From where? From the blood only. From the blood plasma into intercellular spaces. And they form certain fluid that is called, they forms into a fluid tissue that is called interstitial fluid. It's a tissue only, interstitial fluid. It has some minerals with it. Same like in the blood plasma. It has some minerals. But this fluid is nothing but lymph fluid. This fluid will be formed as lymph fluid because they are entering into a system called lymphatic system. Got it? So this lymph is a colorless fluid. The lymph is nothing but a colorless fluid. Why? Because there is no any hemoglobin or any pigments. That's why it's a colorless fluid. Okay. Enters lymphatic system. And becomes a fluid called lymph. Okay, and it is a colorless fluid. It's a colorless fluid. And the cells present in this fluid called lymphocytes. The cells, site means cells only, right? The cells present in this lymph fluid called lymphocytes. Okay. Once again, I am telling, as the blood passes through the capillaries in tissues, some amount of water and soluble substances will be filtered out from the blood plasma and enters the spaces between the cells. So, what are those spaces called? Intercellular spaces, and they becomes a fluid now, and they forms a fluid that is called interstitial fluid. Okay, and which consisting of some amount of minerals. And further it enters the lymphatic system and constitutes as a fluid called a lymph fluid, which is a colorless fluid. And the cells of this lymph called lymphocytes. Okay, so this is how lymph fluid and lymphatic system is composed of. Now we are going to study the functions of the lymph. The functions of the lymph that we are going to study now. Okay, I'm erasing this. So some functions of the lymph we will study. Functions of lymph. The lymph is acting like a middleman between the blood and tissues, like a capillaries. Okay, acts like middleman between blood and tissues. Blood and tissues. So it's actually a tissue fluid, right? Because the lymph fluid is getting filtered out from the blood plasma and settles in the intercellular spaces. So it is tissue fluid only, you know. So this tissue fluid helps to exchange nutrients and gases. Helps to exchange the tissue fluid. The tissue fluid helps in exchange of the gases and nutrients. Exchange of the gases and also nutrient materials. Gases and nutrients. Gases and nutrients. Between the blood and cells only. Between the blood and cells or tissues. Okay. Exchanges. This tissue fluid helps in exchange of the gases and nutrients. Example. Got it? And it also carries the proteins from the plasma. This lymph fluid also carries the proteins from the plasma. Okay, carry proteins from the plasma. Proteins from the plasma. It also carries the proteins from the plasma. Got it? Even it also carries proteins from the liver, which are synthesized in the liver, to the blood also. Okay, it helps to carry the proteins also from liver to blood. And it also transports the digested fats through the lymph vessels only, you know, through lacteals in the intestinal villi. From the intestinal villi, it helps to carry or transport the digested fats. It also helps to carry digested fats. Carry digested fats too. It also helps to carry digested fats through the intestinal villi. From or through intestinal villi. Next, so one more important function of this lymph is filtration of the bacteria and foreign particles from the blood. It also helps in filtration of bacteria. It performs the filtration of bacteria and other foreign particles from the blood. Okay, and one more function. The lymphocytes belongs to lymph fluid only. You know, what are the cells present in the lymph? I told lymphocytes. That's it. That means the lymphocytes are produced from this lymph glands. The lymph glands produces or synthesize WBC, lymphocytes. The lymph glands of lymphatic system. The lymph glands of the lymphatic system produces lymphocytes. And other immune proteins called antibodies. Other immune proteins called antibodies or antibodies, whatever you want, along with the lymphocytes, who will produce The lymph glands produces the lymphocytes and other antibodies which are useful for, which are playing the most important role in our immune system, which acts against foreign pathogens. Got it? So these all are the functions of the lymphatic system. First one, the lymph fluid acts like a middleman between blood and tissues. For what? Exchanging of what? Gases and nutrients. Second one, it carries the proteins from the plasma or also from the liver to the blood. It carries proteins. Next, it carries digested fats through intestinal villi. Next, filtration of bacteria and other foreign particles. And the lymph glands of the lymphatic system will produces lymphocytes. Okay. So this is all about lymphatic system. Got it? And now we are going to study about the last topic of this chapter, that is disorders of the circulatory system. Disorders of the circulatory system we are going to study. So please note down the functions of lymph, everyone. Now we are going to study the disorders of the circulatory system. And the lymph first function what? It acts as middleman between blood and tissues. For what? For the exchange of gases and nutrients. First point. Middleman between blood and tissues for the exchange of gases and nutrients. Second point, it carries proteins from the plasma, from the liver to the blood. From the plasma, from the liver to the blood. Next, carry digested fats. It helps in carrying digested fats. Next, filtration of bacteria and other foreign particles. Next, the lymph glands produces lymphocytes and other antibodies, which provides us immunity. Next, disorders of the circulatory system we are going to study now. Disorders of circulatory system. Disorders of the circulatory system. First one, as well we know about it, that we commonly call it high BP, hypertension. First one, hypertension. We commonly call it high BP, hypertension. The pressure of the circulating blood, on the walls of the blood vessels, is normally or generally termed as blood pressure. Okay, generally it's a blood vessel, any blood vessel. The blood while flows, it exerts some pressure onto the walls, right? The moving blood, the circulating blood, while moving, it exerts some pressure onto the wall, right? So that is called blood pressure. Generally, it is termed as blood pressure. Okay. The normal blood pressure value is 120 by 80. 120 indicates systolic pressure. 120 indicates systolic pressure, and 80 indicates diastolic pressure. The pressure will be more when the heart contracts, we know that. And by relaxation, the pressure will become less. So this is the normal BP condition. 120 by 80 is the normal BP condition. But hypertension means high blood pressure. That means it exceeds that normal value. That means above systolic pressure above 120 and diastolic pressure above 80. That indicates the high BP. Okay, you may get a question, sir, what happens when they get low? That is low BP, that's it. Below 120 by 80 means low BP. This is normal standard value, normal BP value. When the blood pressure is higher than the normal BP, it is nothing but hypertension. Okay, suppose 140 by 90, 150 by 100, like that, 160, 120. It depends. But when it crosses, exceeds than 120 by 80, definitely it is called hypertension. It leads to, this hypertension may leads to some heart diseases, some heart related diseases, and also it may affect the vital organs, important organs like brain, kidney, lungs and all. Okay, it may affect the organs, different organs of the body. So that is called hypertension. Hypertension. So how high BP is indicated? Normal BP when the blood pressure is greater than 120 by 80. That is called hypertension only. That's it. Next, second one. So we are going to study one more disease, that is coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. CAD. Coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. Coronary artery disease. This is commonly, we call it as atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis. Pronounce it clearly. Atherosclerosis. Sclerosis. Atherosclerosis. Here, the nutrients like calcium and fat and cholesterol, okay, and other fibrous tissues will be deposited in the coronary artery. This all are gets deposited in coronary artery, in coronary arteries. The calcium, fat, cholesterol, fibrous tissues deposited in the coronary arteries. It makes the lumen of arteries, the lumen means space inside the artery, the lumen of arteries narrow. Okay. Suppose it's a coronary artery. From where it supplies blood? From cardiac muscle. Sorry, from the heart to cardiac muscle. Okay, this is coronary artery. Okay, and due to the deposition of all these substances here in the lumen, the blood flow will be difficult. Why? Because it becomes narrow. See, the blood vessel becomes narrow. Coronary artery becomes narrow. It supplies blood from heart to cardiac muscle. So then it results in the improper beating of the heart, because cardiac muscle is not going to function, because it is not supplying with blood. It is not supplying with nutrients and oxygen, right? Because the blood vessel become narrow due to the deposition of calcium, fat, cholesterol, fibrous tissues. So the cardiac muscle has to work, has to function. For functioning, it needs oxygen and nutrients. So oxygen and nutrients supplied in coronary artery. When it is getting blocked, right, the cardiac muscle is not going to get nourishment, so thereby it stops working. Okay, it may leads to the non-functioning of the heart. Okay, so this is one more important disease, that is called coronary artery disease. Okay, coronary artery disease, CAD. It is also called atherosclerosis. Next, one more. Angina. One more disease is angina. Angina, it is also called angina pectoris. Angina pectoris. Angina pectoris means it is an acute chest pain. It is an acute chest pain due to the oxygen deficiency to the cardiac muscle. Okay. Due to oxygen deficiency to oxygen deficiency to cardiac muscle, it leads to some severe chest pain. Severe chest pain. Because oxygen is not supplied to cardiac muscle properly. Okay. So due to the insufficient oxygen supply to cardiac muscle, severe chest pain is going to lead. So it occurs due to the improper blood flow only. Okay, what is the reason, sir? What is the reason for oxygen deficiency? Is improper blood flow to the cardiac muscle, through coronary artery. Same thing again. So it is common among some middle-aged and higher aged groups, old age groups. Okay. Next disorder, that is heart failure. Next, that means the heart is failed to pump. The heart is failing. It may be all of a sudden. Okay. So congestive heart failure. Congestive heart failure. It is the inability of a heart, as I told you, the heart fails to pump the blood enough to tissues, tissues and cells in the body. Okay, the needs of the body, it is not reaching the needs of the body. Okay, our body tissues and cells need some pumping of the blood. Okay, suppose 5000 ml per minute cardiac output is that one, but the heart is not reaching that. That means heart is failed to pump the blood. So the failure of the heart to pump the blood, failure of the heart to pump the blood, failure of the heart to pump the blood is called heart failure. Okay, why? Because the heart is unable to pump. Why? Because the cardiac muscle may not be working, and the oxygen supply to cardiac muscle may not be working, right? May be insufficient to cardiac muscle only. It all depends on cardiac muscle only. Everything. That is very, very important. Next, it leads to cardiac arrest. It may lead to the cardiac arrest. All of a sudden, the heart stops beating. Heart stops beating. Cardiac arrest. Now, heart attack, I will tell you. So, you should know the difference between these three: heart failure, cardiac arrest, and heart attack. You will understand the meaning now, because you have to understand the difference between heart failure and cardiac arrest and heart attack. Heart attack means the sudden damage of the heart muscle, cardiac muscle. The sudden damage of the cardiac muscle due to inadequate blood supply. The sudden damage to the cardiac muscle, due to insufficient blood supply. That leads to heart attack. So now look at the three meanings. Heart failure is a failure of the heart to pump the blood. Next, cardiac arrest means heart stops beating. Cardiac arrest. Heart attack means the damage of the cardiac muscle due to insufficient blood supply. So three words, please find the difference clearly. Heart failure, that means heart is failing to pump. That is a consequence. That is as a consequence, right? And cardiac arrest, that's a condition. Right? Cardiac arrest is a condition. Heart failure is a consequence, right? And heart attack is one form of clinical condition in which the damage to the cardiac muscle is going to happen because the blood supply to cardiac muscle is stopped. Got it? So hope you understood the meanings between congestive heart failure and cardiac arrest and heart attack. Next, there are certain terms we are going to study now. Some other terms we are going to study related to this heart. Only. That is Valvular defects. Valvular defects. So the valvular defects in the sense, uh, the valves, that means tricuspid, bicuspid, semilunar valves are there, right? So those valves, when the valves are not functioning properly, so generally the valves will be having a flaps, right? Tricuspid or bicuspid, these are cusps, okay? One cusp, another cusp, like that, okay? So suppose it's a bicuspid or tricuspid, whatever it may be, they have to move downwards so that the blood will be pumped downwards. The flaps will never move upwards. The flaps, they should not move upwards. The flaps should move downwards only. The flaps should move downwards only. Okay. If at all they are moving upwards, that means the blood may flow backwards. So it's all about valves only, because they control the entry of blood from auricles to ventricles, ventricles to arteries, and right, ventricles to arteries only. Okay. So this is the importance of the valves. But if at all the valves are not opening properly, right, and if they are not functioning properly, if they are opening upwards, right, or irregular opening, suppose blood has reached right auricle, now tricuspid valve has to open, but they are not opening. What will happen now? The blood from right auricle will not be pumped into right ventricle. This is what going to happen. So valves has to function properly, the valves, okay? If at all the valves are not functioning, it leads to, okay, it leads to the suspending of blood within the auricles or ventricles, and thereby the blood flow will be stopped. Got it? Okay. Everyone? Hope you understood. Next, one more, arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis. We discussed atherosclerosis, coronary artery disease, atherosclerosis we discussed. This is arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis means hardening of arteries. Hardening of arteries. Hardening of arteries. Hardening. Okay. Due to the important reasons, there are certain reasons for the hardening of artery due to plaques, right? And due to any other physiological reasons, the arteries becomes hard and they are not become flexible. They are not flexible, and so that the pumping of blood will be difficult in the arteries. Okay, that is called hardening of arteries. Hardening of arteries. Next, one more we will study, that is the cyanosis. Cyano. The cyano itself indicates the cyano itself blue, right? Cyano, blue. So it is nothing but a blue baby syndrome. Blue baby syndrome. Blue baby syndrome. So cyanosis is nothing but blue baby syndrome. So what it means, blue baby syndrome? It is characterized by the four, actually it's a congenital, the blue baby syndrome is a congenital disorder. The mixing of blood during embryonic stage only, if the heart do not develops properly, the chambers, the right auricle to left auricle, the blood will mix, or right ventricle to left ventricle, the blood will mix. That means the oxygenated, deoxygenated blood gets mixed, and deoxygenated blood is going to be pumped to the body tissues. If at all the embryo do not develops properly due to some genetical or any other reasons, the baby tissues and cells will be supplied with the deoxygenated blood. Okay, so it happens due to the mixing of oxygenated blood with the deoxygenated blood. Okay, due to the improper open development of the ventricles or arteries, pulmonary artery and aorta, if at all the blood mixed, got it? If the embryo do not develops properly, the heart, okay, and that is, and one more, And one more, patent ductus, patent ductus arteriosus, patent ductus arteriosus. Okay, in fetus, in the fetus, during development of the fetus, during fetal development, during fetal development, during fetal development, we all know that from the right ventricle, from the left ventricle, pulmonary artery and aorta arises, right? Pulmonary artery and aorta arises. Actually, during fetal stage, there is a small connection. There is a small connection between the pulmonary artery and aorta. Pulmonary artery and aorta, there is a small connection in the fetal stage, during the fetal stage. But after birth, okay, after birth, it will be closed. It will be closed. Normally, it will be closed after birth. Normally, in general, it will be closed. But due to some reasons, this patent ductus arteriosus will not be closed. Will not, due to some reasons, it will not be closed, and it leads to the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Again, what it may lead to? Cyanosis, right? That means deoxygenated blood is going to be supplied to the body tissues, right? Okay, this is all about patent ductus arteriosus. That connection is called patent ductus arteriosus. The connection was called patent ductus arteriosus. When it was present during fetal development, connection between who? Pulmonary artery and aorta. But when it will be closed, after birth it will be closed. But due to some reasons, if it won't be closed, the oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood, both will be mixed. It results in the supplying of deoxygenated blood also to the body tissues. So that is one more condition. Got it. And now some diagnostic methods we will study here. Some diagnostic methods. So the diagnostic method is one of the important diagnostic method that we know already is angiography. Angiography. I think you have heard about this term. Angiography. Angiography. What is meant by angiography? The scanning of the blood vessel. The scanning of the blood vessel. That's it. To scan the blood vessel with the help of an X-rays. With the help of an X-rays. X-rays. Using X-rays to scan the blood vessel. To scan the blood vessel. To scan the blood vessel. If there is any errors. If there is any errors. Got it? And also angioplasty. One more. It's a treatment method. Angioplasty. Angioplasty means by sending a catheter. Okay, it's a technique by sending a catheter. Catheter means it's a long needle-like structure which is sent into that blood vessel to clear if there is any narrowing is there. Suppose blood vessel was blocked. Blood vessel was blocked with some fats and other, okay, fats and calcium. As I told you, some fibrous tissues. This catheter will be sent. This catheter will be sent into this, so that it will clear that and allow the blood to move forward. So this is nothing but angioplasty. Angioplasty. So once again, I am telling. It's a technique used to clear the blocking in the blood vessels by using a catheter. By using a catheter, okay. Wherever there is a constriction, first we have to identify with the help of angiography. Then, by using this catheter, it will be cleared. Okay. So, there's an angiography and angioplasty. Angioplasty. Next, I think you have heard about bypass surgery, right? Bypass surgery. Suppose heart, cardiac muscle. So what is this artery is called? This artery is nothing but coronary artery. Coronary artery. Okay. If at all this coronary artery is blocked due to some cholesterol, fat, calcium, fibrous tissues, if any reason, if the coronary artery blocked, the cardiac muscle will not get the blood, right? So in the time, the heart attack may comes, right? The cardiac muscle may stops working and it may leads to heart attack or the heart failure. Anything may happen, right? Because cardiac muscle is not going to supply with the blood. In this time, alternative to this coronary artery, we will bring any graft. Any graft means piece of artery. Any graft will bring and connect as an alternative way from the heart to cardiac muscle, in which the blood instead of sending into coronary artery, this alternate graft, okay, alternate graft, we are allowing the blood to move to reach cardiac muscle. So when the main road is blocked, we use bypass. We lay the bypass load, okay, from the heart to cardiac muscle. This is nothing but bypass surgery. In a simple way, I explained bypass surgery. Okay. Next, we already studied about electrocardiogram and cardiac output. Everything we already studied. Okay. So this is all about the disorders of the circulatory system and lymphatic system that we studied till now.